Y'all, the NBA draft came on the other day, and I didn't even know the draft was on, y'all. I promise you, I'm in here, just finished bathing my son, feeding, making sure he eats some food, making sure my daughter eat. I'm in here, kick back, chilling, watching a movie with my boy. My dad called me like, hey, man, you know, I didn't know Chris Paul got traded to the Golden State Warriors. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He said, man, I just learned that watching the draft. I'm like, damn, the draft on? He like, yeah, I thought you knew that. My dad is always disappointed when because he always known me all my life to be connected to the sports and always watching the sports. He always be shocked. Like, oh my God, you not watching it? I'm dad. But he know and understand now. I got a little bitty toddler running through this house, right? I'm working, taking care of my children. Sometimes I just be tired, going to sleep, or focus on whatever I'm doing with them, right? But to say the least, I didn't know the draft was even occurring. I had no idea. I was like, it's like, that lets me know something, man. I really feel like the draft has lost its luster. In a major way, man. It seems like, I promise y'all, it does not have the same flair as it used to. And it probably is because college basketball lost its flair to me. Like, y'all, I remember watching college basketball, like, religiously. I remember watching Illinois' basketball teams. I would watch North Carolina. I was a big North Carolina fan, even though I'm in Chicago. I love Illinois and Carolina. I love those teams, right? Illinois and Carolina. But I would watch, you know, what Kentucky was doing, what Duke was doing. I would watch who Ohio State had. I'm trying to see who LSU got over there. All these different teams, I'm invested in them, right? All over the year, Texas, so on and so forth. Now, y'all, I don't know who the hell these kids are in college basketball. I really don't. I haven't known much about the kids coming out the draft since Zion Williamson's class. I haven't known much about the kids coming out since that draft, y'all. Seriously, I'm not even being funny. And I'm a big NBA guy, right? I love the NBA. And I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan. I'm a LeBron fan and a Chicago Bulls fan, right? I root for whatever team LeBron on, and I love the Chicago Bulls. But, you know, usually I used to be intrigued to see who my Bulls picked up, right? I'm trying to see who the Bulls got. I promise y'all the last few years, I haven't given a damn. Because I don't know these dudes. If we ain't got the #1 pick, I ain't even trying to check for it because I know I don't really know what he can do. I'm just not really, it's not a lot of clamor from me, right? And, yeah, man, college basketball kind of seemed to be watered down a little bit. It seems to be almost obsolete. Seriously, I'm wondering now if the effects of the one and done is really taking place. Back then, even when the one and done players first started, it still was intriguing. You still have guys who was there 2-3 years. And even the one and done players, man, it seemed like it was more substance to these players. Like, I'm not saying the young boys now trash because they still good, highly skilled players. But I don't know. Maybe ESPN did a good job covering them or something, but I felt more invested in these guys back then. I felt more invested in O.J. Mayo, Kevin Love, D. Rose, them, especially D. Rose. I'm in Chicago. So, me being in Chicago, I watched D. Rose. I watched Pooh when he was at Simeon. So, I watched every Memphis game that was nationally televised. But I promise y'all, man, like, with the one and done players, the G League, and then the overseas guy, because now, you know, players can go play out of high school, go straight to the G League out of high school. Some dudes going overseas to go hoop out of high school. I don't know, man. It's like the one and done effect combined with the G League guys and the overseas guys. I don't know, man. It's starting to, the connection we had to players in college is starting to wane, right? And in previous years, 2003, 2004, 2005 to be exact, I remember watching TJ Ford get down and get busy at Texas, right? I'm trying to see who else came in that 03 draft. Trying to think who else was there. 03 draft. I know I watched TJ Ford get busy. Trying to think who else I watched. Josh Howard at Wake Forest. In 2004 draft, I watched Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor win a national championship. And Emeka was a junior. Ben Gordon was a junior. I watched, who else? Josh Childress. Watched him at Stanford. In 05, I watched Chris Paul at Wake Forest. I watched Darren Williams at Illinois. You know, I watched him there. I watched Charlie Villanueva at Connecticut. I watched Channing Frye at Arizona. I remember when Illinois came back from 15 down with 4 minutes left to send the game to overtime. It was in like the Elite Eight. or Final Four. They sent the game to overtime, and then they won the game in overtime with D. Brown, Luther Head, Darren Williams in the backcourt, and then they had Roger Powell, and what's the big dude? James Augustine. I watched the team, and Channing Frye was on the Arizona team that the Illinois came back from, right? Came back against. But what I'm saying is that all them guys I named, these guys were juniors, sophomores, seniors. So I watched them guys play, and I was invested in them from watching them play my team that I like, and just watching them progress and develop and mature over the years. Now, because guys just getting up out of there leaving, dudes going to the G League now straight from high school, dudes going overseas. I don't know these kids. I promise y'all, I only knew like 3 players in this draft. Wemby, Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, because they were talking about Scoot a lot and all of that. And them twins came from, what was they, in the G League? Was them twins in the G League or overseas? Something like that. I don't know none of these dudes. For real, man, it's just like, I don't know them. And now we got to rely on Jay Billis and all these other prep and college basketball analysts to tell us who these dudes are and convince us they are really good and convince us that they are top tier, right? And also we got to let their high school highlights and their 1 year college basketball highlights, we got to let that dictate to us if this dude is the goods or not. It's like we really don't see them progress and mature over a season. We really don't get time to be invested in them like that no more, right? With Zion them, it was different because we had been watching Zion since he was like a sophomore in high school. Now my contact man is acting a fool. But yeah, man, like I don't know who these dudes are. I don't feel connected to them at all, man. It's just like, all right, whatever. The draft is here, and even the fans that was there, like they didn't look like they was that into it. The fans that was there looking like, all right, cool. They didn't seem that interested. You know, so I don't know, man. It's just like, it's whatever. I didn't even know the draft was on, y'all. Not even waiting for it to come. Not anticipating. I used to anticipate the NBA drafts all the time. We would be on, y'all remember back when it was really popping some years back, 2015, 2014. We all used to be on Twitter talking about every pick, on Facebook giving our commentary about everybody who got picked and how we think they're going to fit in with the team. That was a thing on social media we used to do. We don't do that shit no more, dog. We don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Not in the NBA draft, I know. Hell no. It's just like, dude got picked, all right, whatever. We talking about the jewelry they got on and the suit they wore now, more, or the hairstyle they got, or the shoes they got on, more than the dudes and how they gonna progress in the league and how they gonna help the teams that they went to. Seriously, I have no connection to these players. I told my boy I ain't watched college basketball intensely, like closely, in a while. And the only time I get intrigued with a college basketball team now is if a kid from Chicago is on the team, because it's somebody from the crib, from the Chi, I can watch and follow. If they ain't from the Chicago, if they ain't from the Go, I ain't really keeping up with it for real. Unless Victor Wembanyama would have played in college, but he was overseas. So, like, we could see him on an everyday basis or every game basis, or see him every once in a while on national TV consistently. You know, so it's like, there's no connection. I thought the draft is just lackluster to me now. It's just there, and, you know, the viewership used to be so high. I feel like it used to be like millions of viewers back then. Now it's just like, whatever. At least we used to watch through the lottery picks. Motherfuckers don't care about the lottery picks like that no more. After the dudes we know, it's like, all right, cool, whatever. It's done. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out.